Hi, I'm Holly Harris, host of Spinning the Blues Saturdays on WUMB and WUMB.org. So excited to be here for Don Odells Legends at the Gloucester Blues Festival on this Saturday, 2025. And I'm talking to the amazing guitar player. I'm sitting down with Barrett Anderson, who shows such joy and passion for his music. So thank you for sitting down with me today.
Oh, thank you, Holly. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good, good. And we were just talking that you live in the middle of the state here in Massachusetts, and you moved back, but you spent some time traveling around or living other places.
I do, yeah. I live in a small town in on the northeast side of the Quabbin Reservoir, where I grew up. But Cambridge is really kind of my musical home. So that being a musician, it's a commuting job, however you cut it.
That's
and
right.
So Route 2 is a very familiar drive, and yeah, I remember being in North Mississippi, recording my first album and talking to someone, Jimbo Mathis, who was producing my album. And he said, "You're from Cambridge?" I said, "Yeah." Yeah. How do you like Cambridge? All I know about Cambridge is car talk and morphine.
Really,
right.
Right.
So like the music of Mark Sandman and
Right.
Tom and Ray Magliozzi.
Right.
So I'm like, man, that sounds pretty good. So I feel like very proud of the Cambridge musical home.
Absolutely.
Car talk and morphine.
But you consider yourself a Boston or New England-based musician, which is great. Going back decades, tell me about some of your early influences in music.
Oh, sure. Well, I grew up in Massachusetts, and in the mid to late 90s, when I was getting into music, there was a really vibrant, it was one of the periods of a very strong national blues scene. I think kind of the coattails of Stevie Ray Vaughan were present, and so there were touring acts coming through all the time, and then our local acts, we had Ronnie Earl and Monster Mike Welch and Duke Robillard, and so there was this wonderful, moment of getting to dig fully into the local scene, which, the local
Phenomenal.
scene being the international scene,
Yeah.
and having the international scene also being kind of in your doorstep.
Right there.
I was,
Right there. I mean, Ronnie, I saw him a couple of days ago out at the Bull Run with Duke Robillard. It was historic, in a celebration for Phil Pemberton. Diane Blue was there, and a whole host of others. Monster Mike Welch, who's just come up beautifully.
Yep.
He was a kid when he started. So right into it, and some of the clubs that were around at that time.
Yeah.
You were there at the right moment.
And that's exactly it. I feel like I was in the right place at the right time a lot. I was an enthusiastic young kid, and I made sure to connect with the artists after each show. And
Absolutely.
It was Bob Margolin, actually, who was
Also
the first
Boston,
person.
from Boston originally.
What was in that water in Brookline? I
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
like that period of you have Margolin and Ron Levy and Peter Malick,
right.
all and
together.
not to mention other folks too.
There's so many. So you picked, was guitar your instrument?
It was. My earliest memories are of the guitar. My father played the guitar, but did not identify as a musician. But music was a big part of my family. And my sister is a classical singer. She sang with the Tanglewood Festival Chorus and the Boston Symphony Orchestra. I'm a guitar player and singer for two parents who don't identify as musicians. Boy, they really
that they encouraged you.
And encouraged.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I love your T-shirt, Eden District Blues. I'm just looking at all the music surrounds you. What kind of guitars do you play?
So I played Telecasters for many years, and a good Telecaster is pretty hard to beat. I think there's not much to hide behind. You really get out of it what you put into it, and that's a beautiful thing. The thing that I think of, I love to hear it, like when you can hear someone's fingertips on the guitar. I know, like that sounds kind of a little artsy or whatever, but yeah, whatever. Like when you can hear someone's touch on the guitar, that's when it really comes through. And Telecasters really do that. I've had the great fortune for about a little over a year now. I've been playing an old Gibson ES335,
Oh,
which
how
is a family
fantastic.
friend's guitar. It was
How
his
beautiful.
guitar in high school, and it is, I think, one of, if not the greatest guitar that's ever been made.
Wow.
And so I'm feeling very, very lucky to be playing that.
Are you
these
playing
days.
either of those today?
I do. I have the 335 with me, and I have a good Telecaster in case I break a string.
This is good. Our own master of the Telecaster here. So this is great. Always good to have a plan B.
Yes.
You know? Oh my gosh. And you've played with some pretty impressive folks. You played with Ronnie and Mike, David Maxwell, Anthony, certainly. Anthony Gerasi, let's talk about him. You were with him for a
Sure.
long time.
Yeah, I still am.
Yeah.
Anthony is someone who has, Anthony's birthday was just a couple of days ago,
Right.
and in sending him birthday wishes, I said, "Thank you for changing my life," and he did. I was lucky to play with Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters and the Monster Mike Welch Band. I spent 3 years with each of those bands.
Wow.
But it was at a point when I was in late teens, early 20s, and neither of those bands were touring much.
Okay.
So we played a lot in New England, but New York City was generally too far and too much of an ordeal. So there was no real road work, and
Right.
music is always, music's the great joy of my life.
Yeah,
I'm
it
always
is.
going to be playing
Well,
music.
I mean, when people see him on stage smiling and the joy and the passion, you'll see exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
But Anthony, I went to Italy last year, and I brought one musical T-shirt with me, and it was Anthony Gerasi's, and I sent him a picture of me eating something in Sicily with the Anthony shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great, and Paul was with him for a long time.
Absolutely. I mean, simply getting to go to Europe is,
Yeah.
we spent 5 weeks touring with Paul, who plays bass with me, with Billy Price, whose voice
Oh, he's incredible.
defined, so much music
Right.
so much important music of my youth. And Anthony is just a dream.
He's
I feel
spectacular.
I'm having the time of my life.
And good. And Billy Price will be at the North River Blues Festival
Yeah.
this year.
Yes, he will.
Down in Marshfield, the end of the month. John Primer, Johnny Rawls. I mean, some heavy hitters. Right?
Heavy hitters.
Ron
Yep.
Levy,
Yep.
very important to you.
Yes.
Tell me about your connection to Ron.
Sure. So it was through our mutual friend Jim Carty, actually. He was putting together a
I
benefit.
spoke to Jim today.
And, oh, nice. I'm overdue for a phone call.
Yeah.
There was a benefit, and he assembled a house band with Per Hansen and Ron Levy,
Okay.
and Mudcat Ward playing bass. And Per and I had been playing together for a few months at that point, and when and Ron Levy is a giant.
He's a
he's
giant.
a titan,
Yeah.
and I was just so thrilled to meet him, and then we got along and had a blast, and we spent 5 years playing together.
Wow.
I was playing primarily as an organ trio, so it was myself on guitar and Per playing drums and Ron doing everything else.
How wonderful. I really thank Ron a lot, because when I used to go to New Orleans, where my daughter ended up living there, Ron would say, "You in town, want to come to one of our sessions?" And I went to Champion Jack Dupree's session with Walter Payton, and I went to some of the other musicians that he had down there at Ultrasonic,
Yeah.
and it was really a thrill.
Yeah.
So I really thank him very, very much for that too.
I mean, what big ears
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has,
yeah.
too, and
We wish him all the best.
Absolutely. There's
know?
great advice that I got, and someone said, listen to everything, admit to nothing, and Paul and Ron listens to everything, he takes it all in. He's
there. He's there doing his thing.
I just
there
think it's
doing
such
his
a
thing.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
Beautiful
Yep.
human.
Yep.
So let's talk about your music. You have how many releases out?
I have 3 albums out now.
Is this the
That is the
latest-
most recent one, yeah. So that was
Hypno Boogie Babies.
2020 live album that we
I
made.
love this release. I love all of it. Grinning in Your Face, Broken Down, Mona Goodman. I mean, it's wonderful with you, Charlie Mallett, Doug McLeod on drums, Jamie Blackcat Bone Hatch doing the bass and the vocals, and special guest Emily Anderson on vocals.
My sister, yes.
Your sister on vocals. Hypno Boogie. I love this.
It was really that's an album that I think that will always be one of my very favorites.
Yeah.
It was a live album. We played it. We did one show, one night, one take of each song.
Unheard of.
Because of COVID, my plans to go into the studio and overdub and fix and tweak and polish were very affected. And what you're left with is what happened on that one night. And,
so
and
your own
it's
house
a
party.
really beautiful thing. I think
it's a spectacular release.
It was a special night, and a lot of good energy and came together to make something pretty special there.
So what's happening now? Are you recording? Are you writing? Are you in a studio?
Yeah, so I'm working. Let's see, with Anthony right now. We are wrapping up a new album and getting ready. There's some touring coming up with him. I have currently a new lineup for the Barrett Anderson Band that is just a total dream.
Ooh, share.
I have Paul Loranger playing bass, Joey Perfumi on drums, Charlie Mallett, who is playing who's, on Hypno Boogie, is playing guitar, and then Keith Hollis is playing the organ. Keith was, I met him in Alston. He lived on the other side of a duplex, and he heard me practice, and I heard him practice. He went on to spend 10 years or so with Solomon Burke. He toured with Solomon at the end of his life.
How soulful, literally.
And I just, this is a dream band. So
I'm very excited. When are you coming out with that?
I'm working on it, and I think I've been listening a lot to Muddy Waters' Folk Singer album, and
that's a great release.
A lot about Paul's sound on that big upright bass and what we can do with it. So
this is good.
Good things are happening.
This is very good. You're a writer too, right?
I am. Yes.
So, is your writing will be incorporated some of the early Delta blues?
Definitely. You know, Son House is one of my favorite musicians, and he didn't play 12-bar blues. You know, he played kind of the songs that he wanted to play, and he was not beholden to the form. And so, you know, that's something I try to do something a little bit original with my music. There are many people who are much better at playing 12-bar blues than I am. So I try to find something unique.
Humble, but this is wonderful. Well, Barrett, I'm so excited to hear you today. What are we going to hear today?
We'll see. No, I have a little bit of a road list. Yeah, some Barrett Anderson songs. I don't know. We'll probably play some Mona and some Son House. You know, I think of Son House and Magic Sam and Dwayne Allman as being the three big influences. You know, Son kind of capturing all the soul and the early spirit, and Magic Sam being just such great, you know, taking that Chicago blues thing and carrying it forward, and then Dwayne being able to take that and, you know, the whole blues thing and shift it a little bit outside. So those three people always feel pretty close to my heart.
This is very exciting. I thank you for sitting down with me today here at Don Odells Legends Outside Studio, and you're going to go on stage in a little while with your wonderful band. And I've got a whole list of wonderful things coming up for you, so I'm excited. When is your next gig?
I'll be playing August 23rd at Theodore's out in Springfield.
Okay.
August 31st, I'm going to be up at The Range, which is a wonderful,
the outside
wonderful golf course and music venue in Mason, New Hampshire. That's an afternoon thing from 3 to 6. And then Tuesdays in September, Paul and I are going to be doing a little residency at a restaurant called the Sea Hag outside Harvard Square. It's owned by one of my day jobs was working at Grendel's Den, and
Grendel's Den. Okay.
And the Sea Hag is a sister venue to Grendel's, so
very
it'll
cool.
be, you know,
very cool.
Keeping family ties close.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you on stage, and I'm just so excited to sit down with you. You're the best.
Holly. What a
You're
pleasure.
wonderful.
Thank
and meet
you.
your family. You're very welcome. Barrett Anderson, ladies and gentlemen, for Don Odells Legends. I'm Holly Harris.